Here we go.
Okay, yeah, this is the right one. Yeah.
I did say the little musical cue at the very beginning that did
Yeah.
get me get me going kind of back in time because that song was everywhere. I
Mm-hmm.
remember that song was there. This is obviously a big callback, you know,
Mm-hmm.
on the motorcycle. That's kind of a very famous and often panned scene from the original Top Gun, you know, where he's racing
He
the
rips on
plane
the
on his
jet.
motorcycle.
Yeah.
So now we get to know that he's an instructor. Apparently, right?
Yep.
I think that's probably the biggest reveal from this trailer is that we found out that he is in fact now an instructor or going to be an instructor.
I think he's going to be the like Tom Skerritt's character for the original one. You know, the kind of the grizzled fighter pilot kind of guy who's teaching the younger pilots. You know what's up.
The new
So
generation.
yeah, yeah. Which I
This
think
is
is a
very
fun
much
way to continue that
Top
story.
Gun, the next generation.
Yeah, and I think I'm of the opinion that's the right way to go. It's the way you continue his story, but you know we're leading into the adventures of this new group. I mean, I think that's the way to go. I kind of like this shot here where they're like, "Oh, come on, give me a break," and then he cuts in between the two of them. I thought it was
Yeah,
kind of fun. That's totally a Maverick move right there. Um, so let me talk about my reactions. I have been a flying nut, I think, most of my life. And some of my favorite stuff is I wanted to be a helicopter pilot, actually. Some people know this, some people don't. And I was actually in Navy ROTC. I was going to go serve. I wanted to be a pilot, and my eyesight was so horrible, there was no way it was going to work. So I fell back on my other thing, which was art. So this is actually my fallback career, in case anyone's interested. I wanted to be a pilot. Um, Now, I didn't want to fly jets. I wanted to fly helicopters because I was obsessed with things like Blue Thunder and Airwolf. Um, but I love the original Top Gun film. It's one of my favorite movies. I know that a lot of that is, you know, it's sort of a sports metaphor and that it's not really like that in the Navy because given what they do, I mean, you know, it just would never work. You know, they're trained to be a team. They're not put against each other like, you know, I don't know, you know, the best way to put it again is like, they are like professional athletes, but they don't at the Top Gun school. My understanding is they don't pair them up like that. Um, and that was a lot of things that they brought to the film as they developed the story. Now, as a movie and a story, I have a lot of fun with it, and I've always loved and enjoyed that movie. Um, but I'm also well versed enough. I know that it is a movie that's not how the Navy really is. Um, that being said, the thing I'm most excited about with this film is that my understanding is they have. Oh, here comes another commercial. They have actually partnered with the Navy. The Navy is working with them, and I am so excited to see 4K like fighter pilot footage. Like in the original film, they had to create what it might look like for a pilot inside the cockpit because the cameras were so large they couldn't just take a camera and just stick it in the cockpit with the pilot and properly get the kind of footage they wanted. Well, with technology now, they can have the actual um, cameras in the cockpit with the pilots, and I'm just very excited for all this just really great footage from the original trailer. My favorite shot in the original trailer is where you see the jets screaming down through the snow-covered canyons, and you see the sonic booms behind them. I was just like, "Oh, that looks so awesome!" So
yeah.
that's what I'm most excited about. It's for me, it's a fun opportunity to go see like this amazing like IMAX movie about with this amazing jet footage in it. So that's what I'm most excited about. Um, I love the idea of continuing the story. I love the movie. I'm very interested to see what's happened to Maverick. And I'm really jazzed for what we're going to get out of the film. But for me personally, I'm just so excited for all this new jet footage. That's what has me the most jazzed. So tell me, Eric, what were you said you'd never seen the original Top Gun all the way through,
No.
but you've seen the two trailers. What did you think of the new one?
I like it. I mean, I was excited when my friend sent it to me. I was like, this is cool. And I was looking at the comments on Twitter, and it seemed like we were talking off camera that you saw some negative comments, but everything that I saw was just like everybody was just excited and thought that this is going to be great. One of the reasons I was trying to re-spool the trailer was that scene at the end where it looks like he's like in some sort of a prototype.
Right.
A lot of people think it's a spaceship, actually. So it was. I wanted to kind of go back and kind of show that, but yeah, I mean, I grew up kind of the same way you did, in terms of I grew up on a lot of those same shows, Airwolf and Blue Thunder. They come to mind, but I actually did want to be a jet pilot, and I had an Air Force ROTC scholarship out of high school, and I actually went to Norwich University, which is a military school in Vermont. And I went there with every intention of becoming a fighter pilot and an astronaut, and that's what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, things just they didn't work out. But that was absolutely my intention as well. Was to be a pilot in the military.
Yeah.
So I didn't end up being able to take that path. But I'd also heard about the way they shot this. And I know Tom Cruise, whatever you think about him, he's very big on authenticity. He actually, as I understand it, he became a pilot because there was a scene in a movie where he had to fly a helicopter and he didn't want someone else doing it. So he says, so I'm going to learn how to fly a helicopter, Right. And so that's the kind of commitment he has. He's one of those guys. It's like, almost like on a Jackie Chan level in terms of actually doing his own stunts. And he very much wanted that authenticity in this film. And I heard the same thing as far as he insisted on having the actors and himself in these fighter planes, in the back seat or whatever, with these pilots taking them on real maneuvers and things like that. So yeah, the footage in this I think is going to be pretty spectacular. I'm looking forward to it, especially in this age of CGI and a lot of cheesy stuff. Quite frankly, glorified animation. It's nice to see a live action movie that's truly live action. So we'll see, right?
Yeah. Like I said,
it looks good. I mean, it looks good. Anybody who's seen the trailer, I think, has to say it looks good. Like, I am curious. You did mention off the air that you saw some negative reaction. What kind of negative reactions were you seeing?
Well, I didn't see negative. I mean, I actually heard negative reaction from people I've talked to about it.
Really?
Not a lot. Yeah. It seems among the younger crowd, if they're not that terribly familiar with Top Gun, they definitely don't get the point of this movie at all. So that's going to be your hard sell. I think the next couple of trailers, they need to highlight the kind of the younger pilots if they're going to want to try and court that crowd, because I'm just seeing reaction from them whether or not. I'm not saying they have to. I saw your reaction. The point I'm making.
We don't need them. We don't need the millennials.
We don't need them.
We don't need them. Don't need them.
They don't get this. Oh well, got it.
Yeah. There'll be plenty of kids. There'll actually be plenty of kids like my kids' age who are not millennials. They're actually the generation behind them.
Yeah.
Their parents will take them. They'll go see it. They'll have a great time. They'll have great memories. We don't need the millennials. They can stay home. That's fine.
All right. Okay,
fine. I'll take my kids. I got the younger generation covered, Dave. Don't worry about it.
Good.
All right.
So